it's a oh, I didn't think I fucked that up. I think it's a must like topic to definitely have, like how to take in criticism, how to actually go about that development. So I got a dope quick video to play for us, and it's definitely gonna hit at home in regards to a lot of times you don't get to the roots of how you actually deal with things that actually probably bother you, and it definitely starts with like the childhood of your upbringing. So we got a dope little video to play, and then we're gonna get into it. And I got the presentation stuff and get back to the roots of how we go about this shit. So let's get it.
Criticism is never easy. To learn that others judge us to be foolish, perverse, ugly, or unpleasant is one of the most challenging aspects of any life. However, the impact of criticism is hugely variable and depends ultimately on a rather unexpected detail: what sort of childhood we have had. The clue as to whether criticism will be experienced as merely unpleasant or wholly catastrophic lies in what happened to us many decades ago in the hands of our earliest caregivers. What is meant by a bad childhood is here a matter rather simply of love. An infant arrives in the world with a very limited capacity to endure their own being. It is the tolerance, enthusiasm, and forgiveness of another person that gradually acclimatizes us to existence. Our caregiver's characteristic way of looking at us becomes the way we consider ourselves. It's by being loved by another that we acquire the art of looking sympathetically on our cracked and troublesome beings. It's simply not in our remit to believe in ourselves on our own. We are utterly reliant on an inner sense of having been valued inordinately by another person at the start as a protection against the subsequent neglect of the world. We don't need to be loved by many. One will do. And 12 years might be enough. 16 ideally. But without it, the eternal admiration of millions would ever be able to convince us of our goodness. And with such a love, the scorn of millions would ever need to think. Bad childhoods have an unfortunate tendency to drive us to seek out situations in which there is a theoretical possibility of receiving outsized approval, which also means along the way a high risk of encountering outsized disapproval. The emotionally deprived return almost manically to the question, never really settled, of do I deserve to exist? And this is why they typically put unusual efforts into attempts to be famous and visibly successful. But of course, the world at large will never give the emotionally nervous the unqualified confirmation they seek. There will always be dissenters and critics, people too bashed about by their own pasts to be able to be kind to others. And it's to these voices that those with bad childhoods will be attuned, however enthusiastic the crowd as a whole might be. We can observe along the way that the chief marker of being a good parent is that one's child simply has zero interest in being liked by large numbers of strangers. We don't all hear the same thing when we are criticized. Some of us, the lucky ones, hear just the surface message from the here and now. For example, that our work fell short of expectations, that we must try harder with our assignments, that our book, film, or song wasn't excellent. This can be bearable. But the more wounded among us hear far more. Criticism takes them straight back to the primordial injury. An attack now becomes entwined with the attacks of the past and grows enormous and unmanageable in its intensity. The boss or unfriendly colleague becomes the parent who let us down. Everything is pulled into question.
I think the video hit its point in regards to what we're definitely trying to go over, and in regards so far in the video itself. Chios, what did you catch in regards to understanding the childhood aspect of taking in?
I would say, well, that goes into nature versus nurture in psychology. Having a bad environment as a child definitely turns you into yourself more. So as to, compensate for what you lacked or what was in lack of being given as a child. So, I definitely see where the video is going with the concept of and I'm getting a call, but I get where it's going. I think that's a very strong point that it's making. I think I'll get more into it as we have a conversation.
For sure, for sure, for sure. And I appreciate the perspective. And D, since you have kids, I'm curious to know how, as a parent, understanding how this world ain't nice, but how are you actually like helping them get into regards of getting prepared to take on this world? Why it's not so damn nice?
I say no for no reason. It could be something that's easy. It could be something that's attainable. And I say no. And I say no to teach them you're not going to get everything that you want. And then I say not right now, which means that you need to accept no and then not ask me again. And then later on, it can be a yes, or I'll just give it to you because you were patient enough to wait for it. So it's several lessons that I teach in saying no.
Mm. And so in regards to like taking in that, you see each kid has his own response to that, huh? Like girl, boy, or just they all just kind of take it in differently.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. My son, he's totally different than my girls. When I tell my girls no, just like every woman, they heart breaks. They don't understand it. They want to whine and ask questions. So it's different like that with my son. With my son, it can be like no, and if he asks me why, he know I'm gonna give him that look, and he know what that look means. But with the girls, it's a little different. I'm a sucker.
Gotcha. And I appreciate that. Ashley, what about you, Ashley, and Ross catching on to the video itself so far?
I think it was a really yummy video. I definitely am working to where I don't want to allow my childhood traumas to affect me in any way. With that being said, I can't help but to be what I am. It's funny, I was just talking to my auntie. I'm in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Shout out to LC, baby.
LC, baby.
Yeah, hey, Caleb used to actually stay on the street that I'm like down the street where I'm at right now. But anyway, I say all that to say I'm working to where the things that affected, like my dad, for example, was in and out, and he was older, and my mom was a teen mom. He could have actually went to jail for the situation. It's too many details. Anyway, I don't want to allow my rejection issues, my abandonment issues to affect me moving forward, which is why I've been slow moving. I'm sticking to my birth control schedule and whatnot, because I know I wasn't prepared to bring another generation into this world, which I'm glad I've done. Because again, I want to resolve the trauma before I create generational trauma, if that makes sense. So I do feel that if you don't resolve trauma that you have had in your childhood, it will be passed on. So boom.
Okay, LC. We there. I'm curious to know too, with y'all, like just hearing that too. I'm curious to know, do y'all feel like, well, especially as the parents, but I don't know, I think this is probably up in the air question, but like, do y'all feel like, how do you know when you're ready for kids? Is it more based upon finances, or when you get to a point age, you're like, okay, I'm glad even though I was set finances, it was just more so myself wasn't ready. How do y'all overall go about that? Like saying if you're ready or not, or going about that?
I guess I'll start since I guess that's a good thing for me to think about. Basically, like for me, it is finances. Finances are extremely important when you're taking care of children, especially if you want to have them, raise them in a healthy fashion. You know what I mean? You want their environment to be safe, clean, and for them to be provided for. But it's also about your mental state. You know what I mean? Like obviously, you're still probably going to have to heal and build yourself regardless. Life continues to happen, but you want to at least be in a mental state where you're focused enough to get the job done, to understand your child, to be able to be emotionally intelligent with that child, so you can help them facilitate themselves in the world. So for me, it's like very important for me to make sure me and my partner, whomever I choose to have children with at that point, are in a mental state that is good for a child, so that we don't repeat the same things that we've experienced in our lives onto them. Because that's the thing about it. Like projection is something that I experienced a lot of growing up from my father, and I would hate to do that to my child.
Would y'all say that well, I agree with you in a sense of way, like it's kind of like to get to the point of like everything in your life that you feel like you can't control is minimized to a point like, okay, I can be able to help somebody, navigate accordingly. What about you, D? How did you go about yours?
The moment that I realized that I did not need to raise my children the same way that my parents raised me is when the light bulb went off. There are some things that I can take away from how they raised me, but I can't treat my kids the same way that I was treated because I was treated for a different time, and I can't try to treat my son how my dad treated me because back I was born, I'm an 80s baby. I was born in 81. We got whoopings.
Oh yeah.
From the teachers, from the neighbors, from it was the village. And once you got home, you got the whipping from your parents because they raised you, they take care of you. So now try doing that, DCFS knocking at your door.
You going to jail.
So it's I can't project. I really had to get I sought therapy about this because for so long I was like, oh, I got to be like this because my dad was like this towards me. No, it don't take all that hollering. Don't take beating, whooping nobody for them to get an understanding of, oh, I fucked up,
Yeah.
So it's like, and words can hurt even more nowadays. Words can hurt even more. So take away a phone, take away a video game. They world is crushed. So
Yeah.
I don't need to beat you for you to understand the lesson of if you mess up, you're gonna have to answer for it.
Yeah, I like that for sure, and it's definitely deep. Just like in the world, people always scared of war. There ain't no point of war no more. You just cut off the shipping supplies of the world. We're fucked. Like ain't no need for war. People gotta wake up. All that physical war stuff is dead. It's a new era of digitalness. Bayana, how about you? How you going about everything? I am. But little Mateo, little guy.
I don't know. I feel like the way that I discipline him and the way that I talk to him is like, I'm always thinking like, will he, like years down the line, will he be traumatized by it, or hurt by it to where when he interacts with other people and other relationships or, just having enough confidence in himself, like, is this going to affect him? And I like always think about stuff like that because I know I have tapped into my own childhood trauma and I have a really good understanding of myself. And I know why I tick and know why I do the things that I do. So when it comes to my son, I'm like extra careful about how I say things and, try to make sure that he understands, where I'm coming from. Like, no, mommy's not just mad to be mad or upset, I'm trying to help you and I want to keep you safe. And that's why I do X, Y, and Z, So I think, yeah, it's just, since I know who I am and I know what I've been through, I'm like extra careful when it comes to my son and just making sure he's like self-secure and confident. That's my biggest thing.
Gotcha. I think the biggest thing for me, I think we all probably had a reflection of it when we start to think about how we was raised and when we get older. It don't hit us until we get older. Like, damn, that was probably like not too good, but damn, that was probably like, damn, I was glad she did that. Like, I think the biggest thing, all of us, we was in a generation of getting whippings, and now we in a generation we just got to talk and take something away. It's like, is that really going to impact them like how they need to impact in the future? We just world may never know because right now where we looking at in the world, we're gonna be fucked up because a lot of people just talk without no repercussions. Unfortunately, that's what social media has done. But Mr. Outlaw, what about yourself in regards to going about that route? Oh, go ahead.
Before we like jump past that, sorry. Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I don't think it's gonna have a bad repercussion because I didn't really get whoopings like that. Like, I really didn't. Like, I probably had one or two, maybe three.
You got what I mean? Something, brother. There ain't nothing no more.
It wasn't like frequent, enough for me to like even build up like a thing off of that. You know what I mean?
What
Honestly,
kind of kid were you? Like, were you a good kid? Were you a kid that was always getting talked to?
No. I was the kid that like if you mess with me in school, I might try to push you down the stairs. Like I'm not.
And then I guess the next question I have: what generation did your parents grow up in? Because that can determine a lot too.
dad was born in 1938.
38? Really?
Yeah,
He's
I'm
old.
Really?
My
Yeah.
mom was born in 65.
Oh, that's old generation.
Yeah.
Hi.
That's a big age. Okay, he
That
wanted
Yeah.
is-
he wants something young.
And
I
this
like him.
was the one that would beat me every now and then. And it
Mm.
was still rare. Because honestly, the few times she beat me, I'm telling you, it always ended up
Maybe a
on
French.
it always ended up in like a situation where like I just act out more. You feel me? So stop with that. You know what I mean?
I got you. What
But
about
yeah,
you, Outlaw, in regards to going about handling what you liked about the video, and even more so how you're gonna go about handling that whenever you do want to start that journey for kids. Criticism aspect.
Um, I guess like to really comment on more like the criticism aspect of it. Um, me personally, criticism is just something I grew up in. Like, just being a athlete and like just like really taking it serious at like a young age. Like, like Vegas is a big sports town, especially for basketball and football. And like people think that people are kidding when people say that like
You know, it's
they that we start training at 5 years old, 6 years old. And so like just from that, from such a young age of that age, and especially back then, I had coaches that wouldn't sugarcoat it. Like I had a coach, his name was George Tarkanian. If you guys know a little bit about basketball, Jerry Tarkanian, he's a famous college basketball coach. So that was his son. And he used to be screaming, yelling, throwing his clipboard, all types of shit. And we were 7 years old, 8 years old. Like we're kids. And so for me, I think it made me better. Like it made me a better person. Like even with my dad, like it was almost like a never satisfied dynamic with him. And I think he knew that that would work for me because I was always the kid where if you told me I couldn't do something, I'm gonna show you I could do it. Like, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just always that kid. Like if you say I can't do something, I'm gonna show you I can do it, and I'm gonna do it better than you thought, I could do it. Like that's just how I always was. Whereas with my brother, not so much. Like like everybody has something that we call like a temperament. Basically, like how you respond to emotional situations, like how you emotionally respond to situations, and it's just something that we're born with. And some people have different temperaments than others. And so I feel like when it comes to raising kids, you kind of I don't have kids, but like when I do have kids, I just feel like it's one of those things where like each kid is different. Your son isn't going to be the same as your daughter. If you got three sons, no son, they're not going to be the same. So they're all going to respond to criticism differently. You might have a kid that, okay, you said I can't do this, bet I'm about to show you. So you might have a kid that's like, dang, dad said I can't do this. He doesn't believe in me, like, and get down. So it's just like I feel like you just got to kind of know your kids and kind of know about how to maneuver in that way.
Gotcha. I definitely appreciate you expressing that, y'all. And I got a dope little presentation, well, not presentation, but a little slide to say, and then we can break it down even further to kind of really grasp it, to get even a good perspective on it, and I'm gonna get into it. So it's kind of like in regards to like, converting criticism into positivity. Step one, don't take it personally. I mean, we all can relate to that. When you get older, you can't help but take certain things personally because it may be insecurity or it may be something you're actually working on. But somebody that attacked the little thing is like a little, ooh, that kind of hurt while you saying all stuff. But I don't know, for me, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I got to age like I truly don't give a fuck about what nobody thinks or says about me, because I know last year I'm better than what I was this year. And that's all that matters. So everybody has to have their own type of self motto or self type of affirmation that tells themselves that overcomes anything and everything. Because the only person that spends the most time with you is you. The only person that knows everything about you is you. So anything that is outside, that's more of a recommendation or just somebody who just saying something possibly. And the levels of it will go into accordingly to like criticism. We're all trying to help each other here. So criticism would read criticism. It'd just be something to just, hey, this is what I recommend. Step two, obviously, know your limits. We all have a breaking point. We all have things that when we're younger to now when we're older, we definitely understand things differently, but even more so we still have our points of like, I need a time of relief, I need time to process this. So understand how to go about when you have your limits of being ticked and when it goes to that point, or even your kid, being mindful of those things happening. How do you go about helping them relieve that stress? Or how do you go about relieving your stress? If it is smoking, is it taking a walk and stuff like that? What do you actually do to bring your limit a little higher or to put it back down so you won't break? You know what I'm saying? So that's something to think about. Step 3, obviously, from feedback to action. That's the thing that unfortunately nowadays people, they love to talk versus actually doing. When you get older, you can't afford to talk too much more. Time's ticking at that point. You need some more to do. Difference between kids always talking and shit like that. Well, kids, they actually just be moving all the time and they don't really know how to talk and communicate. When you get older, we tend to talk more and do less. It's kind of weird, unfortunately. It's like the cycle of life is kind of differently. So in the sense of criticism, you can have criticism, but for me, anytime somebody tell me something, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen. And this is how I break it down. I listen to understand, but I don't listen to accept. I don't accept information from everybody, but I do understand it because I understand everybody can tell me or anybody can tell me something. That's a gem. Obviously, step 4, embrace failure. I don't believe in like there's a blessing and there's a lesson, right? I believe a lesson is a blessing and a blessing is a blessing. Everything you can learn from it. And so configure your mind in that regard. Everything you can learn from it. For me, everything is a blessing. So life over there is kind of hard for me to have a down day. I mean, Zena's with me all the time. I rarely have a down day. I'm just always crazy and jokey every day because life is just, I can control what I can control. Step 5, obviously, recognizing critical people. We know those people in our life that we need to avoid. Avoid bad people, avoid bad energy. But even more so, we all have friends who's a downer, but you feel like they're a source of like, damn, I feel like they're giving me the raw shit. You may think it's raw, but it also could just be some negative stuff, and they always in a negative aspect. So you definitely want not to say avoid them, but you want to limit your access they have to you. Because if you're trying to move forward in life, you need to start to disregard that stuff. But I know a lot of times in my life, and even I expressed to her, there are people in my life that I want to be around to see me go to where I'm going, but that's not on me to do that.
Right.
That's not up to me to do that. So you need to let those type of people go. Obviously, number 6, build trust. Trust is something that's only built with consistency. In my eyes, everybody probably have their own image of that. But for me, trust over time is undefeated. And I feel that's just how it is. Trust and certain things need to happen to build that. But with criticism, if somebody's always giving you some good, positive, good insight and good like trust chest. I mean, pretty sure everybody's starting to become more consistently here because there's always some good feedback from anybody in everybody's situation. And it's not looking to be bad, it's looking just to help. And obviously, number 5, be consistent. Consistent. Oh, I'm sorry, number 7. I'm sorry. I was going and I was lifting my fingers off 5. And number 7, obviously, is just to be consistent. And consistency, obviously, it outdoors anything and everything. You can have a bad day, but there's more good than bad. Unfortunately, I don't know how many seconds in a day, but sometimes a small amount of seconds can be bad and you ruin the whole fucking day. And there's no point of that. When you get older,
there's 86,400 seconds in every day.
It's crazy how Jabari would know that all.
He said how many seconds?
He said the funny thing is Jabari said it. That's the funny part. But nevertheless, we're going.
There's 86,400 seconds in every single day.
Thank you.
That's the funny thing. He said.
He's like Alexa.
I'm trying to.
Alexa, how?
Hey, we named our Alexa Ziggy. Our Alexa is Ziggy. Actually.
Our Alexa is Ziggy.
Yeah,
now.
we done named that. But nevertheless, I just said it to say y'all. Just some easy steps to kind of break it down, but even more so to start to look at your kid in a different way. And people don't realize, like in life, we always got our heads in this and like that. But when you actually take the time to just focus on one thing at a time, you actually get true development and true growth because you allow your attention and your essence to be in one focus at a time. So treasure chest, obviously, every topic is attention and one focus every time. You get great development because the call, you get something out of it. So that is like a dope little thing to have, for you guys to have on it. But nevertheless, Ashley, how do you feel about everything? Breaking down the steps, which the main one that you actually like the most or you work with the most?
Maybe recognizing critical people. I mean, all of them are so good. When it comes to converting, criticism to positivity, I definitely watch who's criticizing me and their feedback. I hate to say it, but I'll be honest. Everybody that criticizes you, sometimes they're speaking from an inner and not an outer. And everybody that criticizes you don't even have the right to criticize you, if that makes sense. So I'm sorry, like if you're not my mom, Caleb, like just certain dynamic people of my life that know me from like the evolution of me it's like, I don't even know if you have the right to even say certain criticisms or speak certain things because I don't know. Do you feel me on that or?
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. A lot of people don't qualify. We just automatically qualify people from their age or who they know that we just, oh, they got the stamp. Okay, I can listen to
Right.
what you're saying. Oh, you got money. Okay, I can listen to what you're saying. None of that shit matters unless, like I always told you, like unless they actually know what you've been through. That's probably the only person that can actually give you critical thinking
Right.
advice after you give me your own self advice. Okay, so yeah, that's just how I go about it. D, how about you, bro? In regards to the steps at hand, bro, which one resonates with you the most?
You said the steps at what?
Out of,
What I'm looking at now?
yeah, out of all these steps, which one resonates with you the most?
It would be don't take it personally. It takes a very mature person to sit and have somebody and listen to criticism, because criticism can be constructive. It's that negative criticism that you don't need.
Right.
That negative criticism that makes you feel like crap and doesn't give you anything in between or uplift you. It's just somebody trying to hurt you or make you feel a certain kind of way.
Mm-hmm. And would you say that part of you kind of strengthened because you had kids, or it was like that before you had kids?
No, the kids definitely brought it to a whole new level. But yeah, before the kids, it was I really my son is like that now. With criticism, he has a difficult time taking it, and of course, as he grows and gets mature, he'll deal with it the same way that I have. When you get to that point to where somebody's gonna always say something, so you're gonna always want to do the right thing, so you ain't gotta have somebody saying something negative about you.
Right.
Gotcha.
I definitely agree with you on that
Yeah,
one.
I like that. I like that
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
What about you, Ayana, in regards to the steps at hand? Which one you resonate with the most? And I'm pulling it back up right now.
Definitely don't take it personally. Like just was just said, because I feel like early on in my life I was criticized a lot.
Mhm.
And it's just getting over that hump of, not every critical thing said is for you.
Right.
Like Ashley was saying as well, some people are just, struggling internally and they project onto you, and sometimes they even want to make you feel bad, just feel just as bad as they do, or they see you winning or doing great, or even looking great, and they don't have that same success or that same like look, and they feel like they need to bring you down in some sort of way. But I always take criticism very harshly, no matter what it is. Like if it's how I look, what I wear, how I am as a mom,
Yeah.
how I am as a friend, just
Do you
I
feel
just take
like
it
that?
really harshly.
Do you feel like that's I mean, all women are, even guys that can kind of open it up. Do you feel like that's more how you are? It's kind of like how all women are kind of going about life.
I think it's just your individuality. Like I think it's just
You can say
like I don't think it's based upon just like all women are the same, because like for instance,
not the same, but like dealing with
yeah, because the thing is, like, okay, like I was going to use this as an example. Me and Ayana have known each other for years, over 15 years at this point. We have had hard conversations, like hard fucking conversations. And there's things that she said that I didn't fucking like, and there's things that I said that she didn't necessarily like. But the thing is that it had to take us being mature to like accept it, be aware of it, take it in, you know what I mean? Try to fix whatever and go from there. So I feel like it just depends. But I do know that, like, for instance, me and Ayana are two different people. I know that the criticism that I might get might be different than how Ayana might receive it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I might be telling her something, but I sound so passionate, it's almost rude. And it's not even me trying to be rude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus she might take a soft approach, and you know what I mean? And like that's just how it is. Like
For sure.
yeah.
I think the neutral ground, when you just talk to anybody, just always talk with humanity, talk with a fucking sense of like, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to help.
But also too, like I feel like too, if you're getting criticism from a person, a particular person, know that person, like possibly know what that person, how
I'm
they
talking about
are.
even in strangers, like it can be anybody.
Well,
People
with
need to-
strangers, that's kind of like that's a different kind of navigation because more times than not, you don't give a damn like what the stranger may have to say, or you actually really overly care. So it really just depends. But I know, like for me, you know, certain people that have given me criticism or whatever, that shit has cut deep. I'll go in my room and just, you know what I mean? I'll be like that. Or it's like, all right, bitch, bet. Like I might really actually take it personal. It really just depends. But
You ever
sometimes
slash a tire?
Hmm?
Oh,
No.
All right, I said too much.
No.
We're gonna keep moving, man.
No.
We're gonna keep moving. I ain't gonna put it in now. Hey, Mr. Outlaw, brother, you there right there, brother, man? Which step out of all these steps actually resonate with you the most, bro? I'm sharing the screen right now.
Embrace failure.
Why you say that? Okay.
Because failure allows correction. And just going back to basketball, like just the trainers that I've had, and I took the way that they trained me and kind of used it when I was training kids. Like sometimes when you're training a kid in basketball, especially when it comes to like dribbling, like that kind of stuff, the details, they're afraid to make a mistake because they don't want to make a mistake. Like, you know, just naturally, they don't want to make a mistake. And so I would always tell them, like, if you're not making a mistake, you're not going hard enough. Like, if you're not losing the ball, going through these dribbling drills, you're not dribbling the ball hard enough. You're not dribbling the ball fast enough. That means you're not improving. So that's how I kind of look at it from that perspective. And I think that's just kind of helped me in a lot of things that I do. Like, I just kind of, you know me, I just kind of go head first into projects and without any idea sometimes of how to even do it or if it's even going to be a success, but I just do it, you know, just kind of just dive in like, fuck it.
Gotcha. Failure is the breeding grounds to, I would say, expanding your limits. You know, with failure, you're only expanding your limits of what you thought that was limited to you. Like, okay, I kept failing, I'm eventually exceeded. So that's just how it be. What about you, Chios, brother, and all these steps, man? Which one resonates with you the most, brother? I gotta go off this meeting to go, family. Okay, no problem. Ayana, well, thank you for coming.
Bye.
Slam. Love you, Slam.
So what about you, Chios? Which one actually resonates with you the most, bro?
I would say, damn, I don't want to go what everybody else said, but don't take it personally.
Okay.
Because I do have a tendency to do that. You know, I feel like I've been years. But like I remember from a young age, I learned this like, well, not that young, like high school. That one of the best tools that I got was realizing the internal critic is like extremely important to be aware of, because when you're not aware of your like internal critic, like, or even when you're aware of it, you know what I mean, if you have an overactive internal critic, what happens is when somebody points out a criticism to you that you already give to yourself, or you don't feel strong in that point of yourself, you're going to be more affected by that in that moment, because you already are hard on yourself about it just for outside force to come and point it out to you again. So it's very hard not to take it personal because it's already interpersonal for yourself. But when you're aware of that internal critic, you can kind of learn that, you know, that you had to be able to say, okay, this person is just pointing something out to me that I out to myself, which means it is something I should focus on because I'm clearly doing this a lot to the point where it's showing outwardly. You know, I can better myself in this area. And I think that's the best way to not take it personally, is to understand that even when you do take it personally, that probably means that there's something internally that you can build within yourself. You know.
Got you. And yeah, we are definitely, everybody did say that. Definitely everybody, you want to touch on it, but you definitely went deep in there. I would say mine was step 6, build trust. And I would say with that build trust, it's just more so for me. I mean, I don't take criticism from nobody because I don't trust nobody like how I trust me, if that makes sense, right? So by trusting me, I know for the fact is from looking at myself, my own tendencies, and throughout my life, all the stuff I'm doing and accomplishing, like cool. I trust me to put myself in the best situation because I have been. So in the sense of that, anybody new in my life, I have to see with consistency first what they're actually here to do for me versus myself. It's proven to myself I'm only getting better than what I was last year. And so that's why that's undeniable to me. That's why I should, but for me, I come first for me. Versus obviously sometimes in life, you know, when you meet somebody and you see that consistency, you see like that's why you got mentors and all stuff like that. You see somebody getting it, you still go, you know what, actually I can trust you more than I trust myself. That's what you're doing in your life. So I can see that too. Just for me, I'm just at that point. I mean, I've been meeting a lot of people with a lot of money, but Zena know they flaw-ity of character ain't it. a lot of the characters, fuck, they lost something big along the way to get them there.
Humanity.
And then for me, I tell myself I will never jeopardize who I am to get there. And you know, luckily God is lining me up with something beautiful real soon, and it's gonna be beautifully thing. So that's just something I think about, that I keep my trust within myself and keep myself on the path I need to go. But nevertheless, Jabari, man, welcome here, brother, man. Out of all these steps, brother, which one resonates with you the most? I don't know if you're on a drop right now, brother, but I'm gonna pull the screen up for you.
Oh, I'm not driving right now. Shit,
Oh.
I just get back to the house. Let me
Yes,
see. Brace failure, connection critical. What's that? Just okay. Hold on. I'll probably say don't take it personally. No. Nah. I would probably like they both. I would probably say 1 and 7 because like I know like over time I've taken a lot of shit personally, and like it's just anything I'm involved with I make it personal. Over time though, you know, you gotta let shit go. So that's what, you know, you gotta take the personal side out of it. But I'll probably say to be consistent, it's probably like a greater one though, because the more consistent you are, the more you'll see like you'll see progress and shit. Like, you know, if you're consistent in the gym, you'll see like great progress with like your body. If you're consistent in school, you'll see your grades improve. Consistency is overall the most important thing. You can take shit personal all the time. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha. I definitely agree with that in regards to consistency. And that's why I said trust is the only thing that can be, for me, unbreakable trust is something that's built over time, because you see throughout the season, like, damn, I can truly trust this person. I know I can trust this person because we've been through some shit. That's when trust becomes absolute. A lot of times people give somebody trust too soon. And so that's just how I go about that. Nevertheless, Ashley, out of everything been said so far, how you been resonating with everything, and you have anything you want to express?
I think that your slide here is very good, because I think that every point hits, it hits, right? Especially when you're talking about criticism and how to turn it positive. I think that what I said earlier, as far as who is providing the criticism, is one. As to if I'm gonna even look at the other steps, if that makes sense.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, like criticism is something that I've been provided with my entire life, at the hands of who it matters from. So it's so one thing that's for certain, two things for sure. When you're provided
Alexa, turn on the mood light.
Go ahead, Ashley. He was talking.
When you're provided like super duper like criticism from the beginning, it develops a zebra type skin, if that makes sense. And when I say zebra skin, it makes it thick. If you've ever been into animalistic type things, you'll understand that what my analogy is there, because zebra skin is real thick. You know, you got to take it, you got to twist it, you got to pop it, right? I think that criticism is definitely, no, seriously, have y'all ever?
How Caleb just looked right now.
I don't know.
No, zebra skin is real, like for real. I'll drop you. I'll shoot you some info on zebra skin. It's real. It's not something you can just like and tear. It's like thick. You know what I mean? And I appreciate criticism from who it matters, like from certain people that it matters from, if that makes sense. I literally like kind of have become addicted to criticism, if that makes sense. But again,
because are you addicted because it gives you feedback about yourself and where you're going? Or are you just
like it's important to your development, right? Because if somebody is always like, oh, you're so great, like just eating you up, it's just like, how do you expect to grow, right? It's kind of like Outlaw mentioned, right? When he's like, if you gotta move, you gotta do this thing. Because if you're not doing this thing, you're not moving, then I can't tell you something that's gonna add to your development. So I think that criticism is important. It's a great value that can only benefit you, right? And you can't be afraid of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Jabari, why we keep seeing your feet? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if y'all been seeing that, but I've been seeing that. I've been seeing feet.
We're gonna get to him later.
Okay. Because I'm like, what is going on?
Mr. Outlaw, bro, everything been said, man. What is your key give you want to give about how you go about turning criticism into positivity?
I was gonna say the last of that Ashley said really hit it on the head for me. Like, I'm almost addicted to criticism, but like negative criticism. I don't know. Maybe I got something wrong with me or something, but kind of like that meme that I posted today on my story of Michael Jordan when he was like, "Yeah, I took that personally." Like I literally desire competition. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just being an athlete. Like, I desire competition. I desire negative criticism. Like, I want any reason to motivate me. Like, I want people to be like, "Oh yeah, this person is better than you." Yeah, okay. I want people to, overlook, like, almost like that underdog, having a chip on my shoulder. Like, I'm almost addicted to it. And so it's like, kind of like what Ashley says, like, when all these things start to happen, which I think it is a flaw. Like, and I've shared this with you guys on numerous occasions, where it's like when you do something good and like you have an achievement, or like I've told you, like when I've had a show, it doesn't even really set in that like I actually did accomplish something that like a lot of people consider this is great, like, but it hasn't even really set in for me because I'm getting all of this great praise. So it's like, oh yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it doesn't hit like till 3 months later. I'm just sitting in the car smoking like, damn.
Ty, I feel that. I absolutely feel that because I can say like whenever like I make these extravagant cakes and I'm pulling it out my ass, and next thing you know it's 2 tiers and 3 tiers, and everybody's like, wow. And I'm just like, thanks. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of the,
Right. Like, I'm okay.
like, I could do this with my eyes closed. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel you on that. But then it's like you do look back and it's like, damn, I'm dope as shit. I really
yeah, like
that I had this in my mind and it came to fruition. And I'm like, wow.
I tell people I mean that's how you find inspiration within yourself, like just constantly doing shit. And then whenever you become inspiration to yourself, you become limitless. Like for me, and to this day, I still don't think that I mean, I suck at English, but I got a published book. It's kind of weird. It's like, motherfucker, you suck at English. I'm like, I really do, but I got a published book. I don't know. Guys got a sense of humor over here. I don't know.
The funny thing is, I would have thought he was a math whiz.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like, it just really to show, like in life, like, get lost in the process of just doing shit and going for shit. And like, guess what? When you reflect, it's like, damn, I did something. So for me, I do a yearly reflection. I guess when New Year's come out, okay, what the fuck did I do this year? That's like my shit. Okay, I need to turn it up again. That's it. That's all you got to do. The people who know you, they just see like, damn, it's something to constantly move. For those, Ty been knowing me for a while. I mean, shit, he's seeing what I'm doing. I'm seeing what he's doing. Like everybody's seeing what each other's doing, and it's only about growth. And it don't matter if you're going at your own pace. Fuck, it's going at your own pace. But sometimes you got to have those friends that break the mold sometimes to push you to a whole nother pace. Right. And that's required too. So yeah, that's just some things to think about. But Chios, what about you, brother? In regards to things?
I agree with what Ty said and Ashley, what you just said, like, in a weird way, because I guess like I'm not the biggest fan of like negative criticism, but I do, just in perspective from hearing that, like, I guess I do like seek it sometimes, you know what I mean? Because you're right, like that's the only way you're gonna get better is if somebody's like, yo, that was kind of trash, or yo, you could do better than that, you know what I mean? Like for one thing with me, when it comes to like writing or anything to do with music, with my own music, I don't get much criticism, and sometimes I feel hollow because of that, because I'm like, I know I could do better, but nobody's saying that. So it's like, am I overthinking it now? I need to hear it outside of myself, like every now and then, like, you could do better than that.
That might be reflecting at the people around you. Do they truly believe in you, or do they truly want to push you? Or
they do.
Or if they actually even listening?
They do, and I see that. It's just It's the fact that like I guess I get that like a lot of people around me are either right there on level with me, or they're not into music in the way that I am. So it's like they, for them that's amazing because they're like I can't do that. You know what I mean? So I can understand that, but you know, I do realize that like I do need that. So sometimes I seek out like artists that are bigger than me. You know what I mean? Better at like this aspect of music than me. So that way I do get that critical like acknowledgement of like, okay, maybe you could switch up the repetition a little bit or this or that. You know what I mean? Like get in depth with me so I can think like so I can create something new. So I don't get stuck doing the same thing constantly and thinking that's good enough or get complacent. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That is a very important thing.
Gotcha. I love that feedback. And Jabbar, are you there, brother? Are you busy right now? I think you're busy. Oh, there you go. You gotta unmute yourself. All right, you're trying to figure it out. All right. So yeah, I was just definitely going around to kind of really get
I'm
into it.
here.
All right, there you go. So yeah, bro, in regards
Uh,
to how do you go about handling all the criticism and things like your last key takeaways on that? Because I definitely want to start church after dark. I got some I got some good questions to ask. It's gonna get spicy.
how do I do with criticism?
Yes, sir. Your master overall way.
No, just keep doing what I've been doing. I've been successful so far. Why would I stop?
So the resilience
That's
to
about
keep
it.
going. That's how you deal with it.
Yeah, fuck them. Whoever's talking, they probably ain't figured shit out yet. It doesn't matter. Like, why would I stop doing what the fuck I've been doing to hear another motherfucker talking who hasn't figured out this life shit yet? They
Mhm.
probably got they probably been divorced. They probably got multiple babies, multiple baby mamas, all types of other shit. And honestly, I ain't got none of those things. And my life's been so far it's been cool. You know what I mean? I ain't the richest, but I'm not depressed. And I don't have anything that's like tied to my name that will make me feel any type of way about shit. I think I'm doing all right in life. So I wouldn't really care.
Got to the mentality to keep pushing. And I can definitely say this to kind of farewell this because we don't need to have this going too much because I want to start church at the dark. I would definitely say for me, at the end of the day, only hard criticism you should take, it should be designated people, but the ultimate last say so to be like really devastated should be from yourself, especially if you're a person who's looking to grow and see, like just keep going and keep going. And you can actually honestly look at your last year to this year and like, damn, I really made honest growth. And damn, if I added this person in my life, damn, I've been seeing growth because of this person and since they've been added in my life. That's the only fucking time I actually take real hardcore stuff. Other than that, not to say everybody's stuff is recommendation. I just listen to understand to see where you guys are coming, see where anybody's coming from. Because you can always learn something from somebody. I like to not to say force somebody to teach me something, but I'm asking stuff because I want to learn something that I probably don't know. Because end of the day, when you stop learning, you're about to start dying soon. If you ain't trying to grow, you're dying. That's just the opposite of growth, is death. Stagnation is not it, because the world is constantly evolving and constantly moving. So you got to constantly adapt. And that's just how shit works. So yeah, that's just my perspective on how to go about those things.